Yo, what is up, guys? It is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, back again today with another fantasy football video. Today's video is a 12-team PPR mock draft from the first spot, as requested by one of my subscribers, David Stroop. If that's how you do not pronounce your last name, I'm very sorry. I'm very bad at pronouncing names. You guys could probably tell that by now if you've been subscribed for a while that I pronounce a lot of people's names wrong. Now, this video is pretty normal. It is a one quarterback, two running backs, two wide receivers, tight end, two flex, kicker, defense, and it's a deeper bench, 7 bench spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, I set it up correctly. And two flexes. Now, two flexes doesn't change my strategy too much. So if you play with just one flex, this video should still help you. And same with you if you play with a smaller bench, this video will also help you. The extended bench will just be a lot of more depth guys that I would add later in the draft that you can still get some value from. So before I start the video, I'd like to ask you guys, could please go down below and click that subscribe button. It would really mean a lot to me, and it would also mean a lot to you because it's going to help you guys dominate the draft through all these videos that I release every single day. I upload 3 videos every single day, and then during the regular season, it's going to be the same stuff. You're going to be getting trades, matchups, waivers, all of that stuff, streams, all of that stuff, and then during the postseason / the playoffs, you're going to be getting the same exact stuff to help you dominate and then win your fantasy football trophy. Now, if you don't already have a fantasy football trophy, you can go down below and check out my sponsor at the Fantasy Bros, at Fantasy Bros on Twitter. If you use code Notorious at checkout, you get 5% off. It would really mean a lot to me if you just went and checked it out. You didn't even have to buy anything. It's just a bunch of cool stuff that I have for my league, and you guys should check it out too. So let's get into the draft. All right, we have the first pick, so we get the choosing of all of these guys. It's either, to me, it's 3 guys. It's Barkley, McCaffrey, Kamara, and if Zeke was to magically not hold out week 1, Zeke would be in that consideration. Now, if you want a full description of all of these guys after this video, you can go and check out my video that I made a few days ago called, I believe it was called Who to Draft Number 1 Overall. And in that video, I talk about every guy in depth. But right now, at the 1 overall, I think I'm just going to go with not Christian McCaffrey. I'm going to go with Saquon Barkley. In my opinion, he is the number 1 running back to get. He's the best player overall to draft with the first pick. Now, I think that Saquon Barkley, obviously is some concerns with him. The fact that the Giants are not that good. The fact that the Giants wide receiver core looks like a JV high school football team, besides when Shepard and Golden Tate are out. Now, the thing is that their quarterback also not that good. If they stick with Eli Manning, there's concerns about that. But we do know is that even when the Giants are bad, that Barkley can flourish, play great, score touchdowns, run the ball a lot. And I think that he will be the exact same this year. May he have some regression? Maybe. But I think that he'll still be a top 3 fantasy back, and taking him at number 1 makes a lot of sense. You can go Christian McCaffrey or Alvin Kamara if that's who you'd prefer, but I personally would prefer Barkley here at the 101. So after we went with Saquon Barkley at the 101, Ezekiel Elliott came at the board, followed by Christian McCaffrey, Devontae Adams, D-Hop, AK, Le'Veon Bell, Michael Thomas, Odell Beckham Jr., Julio Jones, Juju Smith-Schuster, Todd Gurley, Tyreek Hill, James Conner, Travis Kelce, Nick Chubb, Joe Mixon, Mike Evans, Dalvin Cook, Keenan Allen, Adam Thielen, and Damian Williams. First tight end off the board, Travis Kelce at the 2-4. Typically, Travis Kelce goes around the beginning of the first, not the beginning of the first, the end of the first and the beginning of the second round. He barely ever makes it out of the second round. I've seen him go in the third round like once, but that's very unlikely. And his friends, not really his friends, I don't know if they're friends, but the 2 and 3 best tight end, which is Kelsey's number 1, and then it's Kittle and Ertz. They would typically go around the 3rd, 4th round. Typically, they never make it to the 5th round. So back here, this guy went with the coveted double wide receiver strategy that you typically see at the back of the draft. Now, 3 teams did it. This guy at the 11 got with Julio Jones and then came back and got Tyreek Hill. This guy got Devontae Adams and then came back with Mike Evans. And the guy at the 4 went Adams and then Keenan Allen. All pretty solid stacks right there. The only pick that I don't like so far, actually I don't like 2 of these picks. The first one being Todd Gurley due to that arthritis knee. Like I say in every single video, avoid Todd Gurley due to that arthritis knee. Now, if he somehow plays all 16 games, is inevitably just beats arthritis and it is amazing. He's the first one to ever do it. Then go ahead. He'll be amazing. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's going to be banged up. I think he's not going to play certain drives. I think they're going to tell you he's good, and then he's not going to be good. Just like they did in the Super Bowl with Todd Gurley. Now, the second pick that I don't like here is Damian Williams right here. I don't like Damian Williams because Andy Reid, when asked if they will do running back by committee in Kansas City, he said, we do that here. And you know what we don't do in fantasy football? Draft some guy that's in a running back by committee in the 2nd round. Now, likely, I think D. will emerge as that RB1 like he was towards the end of last year after Kareem Hunt karate kicked that woman. Now, that is just a joke. You guys get it, that's a joke, but nothing against Damian Williams, but I think that he may not end up seeing that role at the beginning of the season, and he has been dealing with that concussion history in the past when he was on the Dolphins. So I'm just really avoiding here with the 211. If you fell to the fourth round, like in some platforms he goes in, go ahead, snag him there. So with this pick, this is a very easy pick for me. I love getting Kerryon Johnson in the second round. I pick him pretty much every time in the second round. You guys, if you've been subscribed to me, have heard me talk about it a million times. A lot of people are worried, oh, CJ Anderson's going to steal all of his touches. No, he's not going to steal all of his touches. It may be 70-30. CJ may get 30% of the touches, which is good because you don't want Kerryon being the full, straight out workhorse where he gets like 90% of the touches or something crazy like that, because Kerryon Johnson is kind of injury prone, and you want fat CJ Anderson to go out there, tire out the defense, and Kerryon Johnson to go out there and pound him and fucking bash the defense in the ass and just gash him for a lot of yards. I think that he's going to be great this year. I think that there's really the only thing to say about Kerryon that's bad is he is on a not that great of a team, and he has that injury proneness. But he's not as injury prone as guys like Leonard Fournette or a guy like Devontae Freeman that go around here. So I'd rather get Kerryon Johnson, who I'm very high on. I love him in fantasy football, and I'm going to draft him a lot. So after with Kerryon Johnson, that was our pick again. So we could go with the trio of running backs, or we can do something that I've done in a lot of these mocks and go with AB here. But I think I am feeling quite dangerous here, and I may just end up going with the triple running back and seeing how it goes, especially in a league where there's two flexes. You could just start four running backs. Now, even in a three or in a one flex league, you can start three running backs, so you don't really have to be scared about not filling out that wide receiver position in the first three rounds. Typically, I do, but I like Antonio Brown, but I also see why you wouldn't draft him. Now, I've drafted him a bunch in the past in the third round in the past couple of days because I think that AB will end up having a great season. I think he's the best wide receiver in the NFL. If he doesn't end up being a diva, if Derek Carr ends up getting him the ball, he will be great in fantasy football. If this helmet thing goes past him, he's confusing. His feet are fucked up too, but he should be good for week one. So, but I think I would much rather just go with the three-headed running back approach in this draft to see what it looks like. When you're doing mocks, you need to make sure that you try all different strategies. You need to go with three running backs, four wide receivers in the first four picks if you're in a double flex league or a three wide receiver league. You need to try all different strategies to figure out what to do. And I think going three running backs is a strategy that I still love doing, so I would do it here. Now, Leonard Fournette's off the board due to the fact that he has had all these off the field problems. He hasn't been able to really stay healthy on the field, and he hasn't been playing that great. Melvin Gordon has that holdout, so he's just an instant avoid. So I think I would just go with the safest pick here in Marlon Mack. I think Marlon Mack, his ADP may move back. I think because of this Andrew Luck injury, a lot of people are hating because, oh, Andrew Luck's going to be hurt. I like Marlon Mack less. But Jacoby Brissett's a solid quarterback, and I think that Marlon Mack will still have the same rushing upside even when Luck is injured. I think that he'll be seeing 16, 17 touches a game. Now, he doesn't get those targets like a lot of these backs you would want in PPR to get, but he is not that much of an injury risk. He's pretty safe. You know every week he's going to go out there, get you like 70 rush yards, a potential touchdown, maybe catch the ball two times, and be a solid option in fantasy football. So I like him here in the third round. After one with Marlon Mack, Aaron Jones came off the board, followed by Melvin Gordon, AB, T.Y. Hilton, Amari Cooper, Pat Mahomes, Josh Jacobs, Devontae Freeman, Zach Ertz, George Kittle, Chris Carson, Leonard Fournette, Stephon Diggs, Julian Edelman, Brandon Cooks, Derrick Henry, David Montgomery, Chris Godwin, Kenny Galladay, Robert Woods, Mark Ingram, James White. So you can see people do in these two flex leagues go with the four wide receivers in a row right here, four running backs in a row here, four wide receivers here, but the top three tight ends are off the board already by the end of the third round. Typically around the third or fourth round, you see all of them be gone. Pat Mahomes was the first quarterback off the board at the 3-7. Typically, you can see him go going once, going twice, sold. I'm talking way too fast. So Pat Mahomes could go around the 3, 4, 5 range if you're paying in a more competitive league, around the fourth, fifth, sixth round. But in some of your at-home leagues, you may see him come off the board in the first two rounds because some people are crazy for that quarterback. So be prepared for that to happen. If you're anticipating him going in the sixth round in your league and you really want him, you may have to pull the trigger slightly earlier if you're in a league that likes getting quarterback early. So with my next pick, I will be doing a new trick. Now, that is just false. We are going to get a wide receiver here because we already have three running backs, and I don't necessarily love Lindsey or Michelle or any of these other guys, so I'd much rather just go with a wide receiver here. Now, I'm off the board. Cooper Kupp and AJ Green are completely off my board. Cooper Kupp got hurt I believe week 9 or 10 last year tore his ACL. So typically, I don't like drafting guys that are bouncing back off that ACL injury unless they're Adrian Peterson. It's not going to be something too great for your fantasy team. AJ Green has been injured, riddled with injuries in the past, and this season he's already hurt. He's already out likely 3 games with an injury. He already had surgery, missed 6 to 8 weeks when he recovers from surgery with torn ligaments in his left ankle. Now, regular season absence anticipated. So you just avoid that. So you just go with one of these other guys. You go with either Lockett, Ridley, or Boyd. Now, I already know I'm just going to go with 2 wide receivers in a row here, and those wide receivers would be Lockett and Boyd. I like the most out of these guys, but I will go with someone different because I typically go with these 2 guys around this area. So I'll go with, I think I like Boyd or Lockett the most, so I'll go with Boyd. I think that he's going to be the wide receiver 1 on the team for a while while AJ Green's out. And a lot of people tell me, oh, AJ Green is the reason why Tyler Boyd is so good because he was the wide receiver 2 on the team, not the wide receiver 1. And then AJ Green was dealing with the double coverage, this, that, and the other thing. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, Tyler Boyd was playing a lot of games when AJ Green was not there with a backup quarterback because Andy Dalton was hurt. So if Andy Dalton ends up staying healthy, Tyler Boyd should be pretty solid here. Now they have a better coach. They have Zach Taylor. They don't have sorry ass Marvin Lewis. So that is obviously an upgrade. So we're gonna go with someone who I kind of love drafting and I kind of hate drafting at the exact same time, and that is Mr. DJ Moore. I could see him ending up doing worse than Curtis Samuel when the year comes to a close. At the end of last season, Curtis Samuel was playing better than DJ Moore, but DJ Moore is still the wide receiver 1 on the team as of right now. He will be a great look for Carolina quarterback Mr. Cam Newton. Now, if Cam Newton cannot stay healthy, this is going to prove to be bad for DJ Moore. But reports out of camp are that Cam Newton has that arm strength back. He has that long ball back after that shoulder surgery, and I like DJ Moore here. And he's different from who I normally pick. So I want to diversify who I pick. So after I with DJ Moore, Philip Lindsay came at the board, followed by Cooper Kupp, Tyler Lockett, Calvin Ridley, AJ Green, OJ Howard, Jarvis Landry, Aaron Rodgers, second quarterback off the board, followed by Tariq Cohen, Tevin Coleman, Sony Michel, Mike Williams, third quarterback, Baker Mayfield, Austin Eckler, Alshon Jeffrey, Evan Ingram, Lamar Miller, Hunter Henry, Deshaun Watson, Andrew Luck, Christian Kirk, Rashad Penny. So typically when you imply this 2 flex thing, sleeper sometimes fucks up. This team drafted 6 running backs. That's not going to happen in your at-home league, just so you know. It's a glitch in the system. I'm sorry that I can't really fix that. But what you need to know is that a lot of these running backs may have already been gone, so it kind of doesn't really impact. You just got to be looking at our team. The other teams around us don't really matter unless you're trying to figure out which quarterback, if you need quarterback or a tight end, stuff like that. So we're going to snag another running back here and likely a running back and then a wide receiver. Andrew Luck is a do not draft for me due to that injury. Right now, we don't know if he'll play week 1, so just avoid him. I'd rather take Watson, Rodgers, Baker, Mahomes over him a million times. I don't want Luck. So we're to just go with a running back and a wide receiver. So we're going to go with the wide receiver first because this is the guy I would likely put in my flex, and that is Robbie Anderson. He developed a connection at the end of the season with Sam Darnold, Jets quarterback, and I think that they're going to keep extending upon that connection this year and play great yet again. Robbie Anderson's the wide receiver 1 on the team. They've got a bunch of other guys. They've got Crowder. They've got, what's his name? Oh, damn. Oh, I'm so dumb. I hate how I forget guys' names, even though I talk about them every single day. Where is he? Can I type in Jets? NYJ. Oh, it doesn't even show up if you type in New York Jets. Quincy Enunwa was his name. Quincy Enunwa is there. They've got Chris Herndon after 4 weeks. So they have some solid wide receiver and tight end options. But I think that Robbie Anderson will be the wide receiver 1 on that team. Him and Darnold, like I said, developed that connection. I think he's a lot safer than Allen Robinson, Pettis, Fuller, Fitzgerald. So we're going to go with Robbie Anderson here. Should be pretty solid. Should be seeing a lot of targets in this new offense with ran under Adam Gase, the cuckoo. So now we're getting a running back, and at this point, I would just go with the most high upside guy here. Kenyon Drake could honestly finish the highest out of all of these guys if he comes back healthy week 1, and Balaj doesn't eat too heavily into that rushing production because he's also going to be catching passes, Drake, so that's obviously solid upside. But he's also in the walking boot, so he could miss game 1. He's questionable, dealing with a foot injury, unclear if he will play against the Ravens week 1. So we're just going to draft Miles Sanders, the guy with the most upside here. Now, Miles Sanders right now is not the RB1 on the Philadelphia Eagles, but he could emerge as that running back 1. He's better than Jordan Howard in my opinion. He gets 5 carries on Thursday which is not that many. He got 31 yards, which is pretty good. That's great, actually. Has drawn rave reviews, just like in practice. He was playing great in practice. It looks like the RB1 on the team. I'd draft him here. He's our 1, 2, 3. He's our fourth running back. He's on our bench. And if he doesn't start the first couple of weeks, that's fine because you just hold him. You just hold him. You can't drop him. You hold him for a couple of weeks, see what happens. And by week 5, if he's not the starter, maybe you think about cutting him. But maybe he's still a solid flex option, even if he's the running back 2 on the team. So after we selected Miles Sanders, Jared Cook came off the board, followed by Matty Ice, Latavius Murray, Darius Geis, Darrell Henderson, Allen Robinson, Will Fuller, Geronimo Allison, Kenyon Drake, Dante Pettis, Eric Ebron, Drew Brees, Jordan Howard, Carson Wentz, Kareem Hunt, Kyler Murray, Corey Davis, Jalen Samuel, Vance McDonald, and Larry Fitzgerald, and then fat Sammy Watkins, followed by Curtis Samuel. I just muted my mic right there so I could take a drink. I'm sorry, guys, but a boy is thirsty. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 out of 12 teams already have a quarterback. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tight ends have already been selected. So right here is where the quarterbacks, I start to worry. Now, I'm not really worried about quarterback because I can just snag one later. So that's fine with me. So we're just going to go with a running back wide receiver combo here and get a solid running bike here and go with Rolls-Royce Freeman here. He is not the running back 1 on Denver right now. It's going to be a 50-50 split. Well, not really 50-50, probably 40-40, and then the other 20 could go to Riddick, or maybe 45-45, and then 10 go to Riddick. But Freeman could emerge as the running back 1 on the team. He played great in the first preseason game. He broke loose for a 50-yard run. They haven't played their second preseason game yet as I'm recording this video. So I think Rolls-Royce could emerge as the running back 1 on that team. Lindsey obviously played so great last year that it made Rolls-Royce, it made it hard for him to really shine when Lindsey was playing so great. But Lindsey got hurt towards the end of last year, hurt his arm, and I think that this year, after the offseason where Rolls-Royce could practice a lot, I think that he will end up emerging as that running back 1, as the running back they drafted him to be. So after we selected Rolls-Royce Freeman, now we can snag another wide receiver. We currently have 1, 2, 3, 4 running backs and 1, 2, 3 receivers. So typically I don't like to load up on more running backs than receivers, but in this type of a league where you have a deeper bench, you can take a lot of deep shots on running backs, and you can also start 2 wide receivers in your flex. I'd like to get, or 4 total wide receivers. I'd like to get 1 more wide receiver here before I start hammering in on the running backs. And this guy I like slightly more than MVS or Marvin Jones, and that is D.D. Westbrook. I think that D.D. Westbrook's going to have a great year this year. Nick Foles, the quarterback of the Jacksonville Jaguars, loves targeting that slot option, the slot guy. And guess what D.D. Westbrook is? He's the slot guy. Now, Marquise Lee has been taken off of the pup, so he's going to be taking some of those targets. But it obviously doesn't matter because D.D. Westbrook isn't going to catch every single ball that is thrown onto the field. He's going to be a great PPR back wide receiver, just like a lot of slot wide receivers are. And D.D. Westbrook will have a great season once he develops that great connection with Nick Foles. Now he has this, my groin injury type deal, but he will be fine likely by week 1. So after we went with D.D. Westbrook, Marvin Jones came off the board, followed by the Bears defense, David Njoku, LaShawn McCoy, Cam Newton, Russell Wilson, Jared Goff, Sterling Shepard, DK Metcalf, MVS, Kalen Ballage, Duke Johnson, Emmanuel Sanders, Carlos Hyde, Ronald Jones, Cortland Sutton, LA Rams D, Famous Jameis, Damian Harris, Peyton Barber, Deshaun Jackson, Philip Rivers. So once teams start taking backup quarterbacks, that's when you have to just pull the trigger on yours. So right here, there's not even much of a debate to have. It depends who you like. So if you like Lamar Jackson better, you like that your quarterback that's going to run the ball a bunch of times that could potentially run for 1,000 yards. You like that he's not as good in 6-point per passing touchdown leagues because he doesn't throw as many touchdowns. So you have to keep that in mind. If it's a 4-point per touchdown league, he's a lot better. Now, or you could go with Dak Prescott, who's been a quarterback or a top 12 quarterback every single year he's been in the league. And he's scored 6 rushing touchdowns every year. So you go with him, or you go with Josh Allen, the young gun, just like Lamar Jackson, a guy who's going to be slinging the ball, running the ball a lot. He's like the combination of Dak Prescott and Lamar Jackson. But not really, because they're all running quarterbacks, or quarterbacks that have that rushing upside. So right here, I think I would just go, since it's a deeper bench, I would be more considerate to go 2 quarterbacks because a lot of teams will hold on to that second quarterback. So I'd probably go with Lamar Jackson here and then hope we can get Josh Allen later. So we want Lamar Jackson here for that rushing upside. And now we're going to hammer on some running backs here with some high upside. So we're going to go first with Justin Jackson, running back of the LA Chargers. Now he's a running back who will have 0, I repeat, 0 value if you're watching this video and Melvin Gordon has signed. to the LA Chargers. But right now, Melvin Gordon's holding out. He's not getting that signed. He's already signed, but he needs a new contract. He wants a new contract. And as long as he doesn't get that new contract, doesn't fucking come to practice, doesn't come to play, Justin Jackson could have 8 games starting on the team. And we know Justin Jackson's a great running back from last year. We saw when Melvin Gordon was hurt that Justin Jackson played. It's pretty solid. So we'll go with Justin Jackson here. After with Justin Jackson, the computer selected N'Keal Harry, followed by James Washington, Austin Hoopa, Devin Singletary, Dante Moncrief, Golden Tate, Anthony Miller, Big Ben Roethlisberger, Jags defense, TJ Hawkinson, Tyrell Williams, Tom Brady, AP, Matt Breida, Alexander Madison, Kiki Cootie, Devin Funches, Baltimore Ravens, Jamison Crowder, LA Chargers, Jimmy Garoppolo, Delaney Walker, and now it is our pick. So we can just hammer on some more late round running backs here. Or we can go with a tight end because we should probably go with the tight end in one of these picks. So we will get Lamar Jackson's tight end, Mark Andrews. Hopefully him and Mark Andrews can develop a solid connection. But the guys around him are all old men that are injury prone. Jordan Reed and Greg Olsen. Kyle Rudolph old. Jimmy Graham old. So we're just going to go with the young gun, Mark Andrews, who is, I believe, in his second year. 1 year. He was a rookie last year. Now he's the tight end one on the team. He surpassed Hayden Hurst. He looks pretty solid in practice. It looks like Lamar Jackson likes targeting him. Lamar Jackson targeted him last year on some bombs. He looked great last year. So we'll go with Mark Andrews here. And then we'll select one more running back and then probably go on a bit of a wide receiver run. Now, I do like Josh Gordon here in the 13th round, but I don't believe he will end up here in the 13th round. And I'd much rather just get a solid running back in this round and then load up on some other wide receiver flyers with my last pick and then draft a quarterback, because I think you will end up needing 2 in these deep bench type of leagues. So we'll go with a high upside running back in Justice Hill. Now, Justice Hill's a guy where you're drafting him and you just hold him for like 4 or 5 weeks. And if he ends up emerging as the running back 1, he emerges past Ingram, becomes the running back 1 on Baltimore, it will be dangerous because they like running the ball a lot in Baltimore. They will run the ball a lot, like I said, with Lamar Jackson, Justice Hill, and it should be pretty good. Justice Hill played great in preseason. I believe he scored a touchdown, scored in a victory. He was involved heavily against the Jaguars. I think I like him here late in the draft. So after, I don't think, I know I like him late in the draft. So after we picked Justice Hill, Dickie Dak Prescott came to the board, followed by Deion Lewis, Naheem Hines, Cleveland Browns defense, Darwin Thompson, Josh Gordon, Jerick McKinnon, Kyle Rudolph, Greg the Leg Zerline, Kirk Cousins, Paris Campbell, Vikings D, Will Lutz, Jack Doyle, Tony Pollard, Jordan Reed, Justin Tucker, the fucker, Ito Smith, Traquan Smith, Harrison Bucker, G Reg, the third leg, Olsen, Dallas Cowboys defense, and now don't draft a kicker or defense this early, just so you know. Then we get one more wide receiver, and I think I'm just gonna go with someone who I don't always draft, and that is Mr. Adam Daddy, Adam Humphries. Now he seems to have developed quite the connection. Now he exited practice, had a sleeve over his left leg, should be fine. And he was playing pretty well in the first preseason game. I don't think he played in the second game. And he seemed to be catching a lot of balls. Now, as we know on this channel, Corey Davis is fucking terrible. He will never be the guy in Tennessee. I think he will end up being the wide receiver 2 this year behind Adam Humphries, because Adam Humphries is just great. He played great on Tampa Bay. Now he's getting an even better option. Well, not even a better option because he is a worse quarterback, but more of a chance to become the wide receiver 1. He was never going to get past Mike Evans, but he could get past Corey Davis as the wide receiver 1. I like him this far back in the draft. He seems like a guy that is a late round, like a typical late round flyer, where if he doesn't perform week 1 or 2, you just cut him and you pick up someone who does perform. And if not, you hit on a guy that you could start in your flex every single week in the 14th round. So now we're going to get our second quarterback, because in this type of league, I believe you kind of do need 2 quarterbacks since it's a deep bench. I don't like doing it, but I feel like I may do it if this was a real draft. And I draft like it's a real draft. So I'm going to go with Josh Allen. I believe he's going to be better than Mitch Trubisky. He has that rushing upside. He's going to be slinging the ball. His first 3 games are so simple. Jets, Giants, Cincinnati. Going to torch those guys. Going to play great. He has that rushing upside, like I said. If he rushes for 30 yards, 40 yards every single game, that's an extra 3-4 points. If he rushes for 55 points, he rushes in a touchdown. If it's a 4-point per passing touchdown league, you get 6 points instead of 4 for the passing touchdown. He is a guy who can also throw the ball for like 200 yards every game. He looked amazing in preseason week 2, efficient and win, completed 9 of 11 for 102 in a win over the Panthers. So I like Josh Allen here. I would also consider drafting Trubisky there. I don't think Trubisky will be as good as Allen, but I wouldn't hate him as my quarterback 2. Same with Matt Stafford, Nick Foles. There's a lot of guys back here that are pretty solid. So after with Josh Allen, B. Cole Hardman was selected, followed by Dante Foreman, Chris Thompson, John Brown, Trey Boo, Malcolm Brown, Michael Gallup, Houston Texans, Andy Isabella, the Saints, Parker, Gostowski, Gio Bernard, Marquise Goodwin, Fairbairn, Eagles, Randall Cobb, Elliott, Gould, Kissin Titties Trubisky, Trevecchio, Badgley. So now we go with for a defense. So when you're drafting a defense, you're going to go on Google, type in NFL schedule week 1, draft a defense that's playing against a shitty offense. So we're just going to go through some here because I don't even know. Because typically I go with the Browns, the Eagles, or the Cowboys because I know their matchup, but none of them are available. The Broncos are playing Oakland. So I'm going to go with that because I think Oakland will end up getting picked off. Or Von Miller will sack the shit out of Derek Carr or something. So I like Denver Broncos there against a not so good Oakland team, and then we'll go for the kicker. We'll just draft the best available, Prater. After we drafted Prater, the rookie Debo Samuels was selected, followed by Jimmy Graham, C.J. Anderson, Noah Fant, Alf Morris. Don't draft Alfred Morris, draft Tony Pollard. He's the true handcuff for Ezekiel Elliott. After Alfred Morris, Dallas Goedert came off the board, followed by Mason Crosby, Deshaun Hamilton, Sam Darnold, and Jalen Richard, and then Quincy Enunwa. So our finishing starting lineup is Lamar Jackson is our quarterback. Our 2 running backs are Barkley and Johnson. Our wideouts are Boyd and Moore. Our tight end is Mark Andrews. Our 2 flexes are Marlon Mack and Robbie Anderson. Our kicker is Prater. Our defense is the Broncos versus Oakland. Our running backs are comprised of Miles Sanders, Royce Freeman, D.D. Westbrook, Justin Jackson, Justice Hill, Adam Humphries, and Josh Allen. So thank you guys all for watching this video. If you did end up enjoying, please click that subscribe button. It would really mean a lot to me. It's going to mean a lot to you because we're going to help you dominate the draft, dominate the regular season, dominate the postseason, and win your fantasy football championship. And if you don't already have a championship ring, check down below in the description for my sponsor, Fantasy Bros, fantasybros.com. Use code Notorious at checkout for 5% off. Thank you guys all for watching. I love every single one of you. Have a great goddamn day. I hope you come back later for the other videos. Goodbye, guys.